Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Nolan Wells was an 18-year-old college football player whose tragic death following a 4th of July boat trip has drawn intense national media attention and an ongoing active investigation. A wide receiver for Southwest Mississippi Community College and a former player at Ocean Springs High School, Nolan went missing during a holiday celebration on Horn Island, Mississippi. His body was recovered on July 6th, leading his family and prominent civil rights leaders to publicly challenge early official narratives surrounding his disappearance. So, what are early official narratives surrounding Nolan's disappearance? Well, what about the fact that the boys, who he called friends, ghosted him? They say Nolan ghosted them, but here's the deal. Nolan was with a girl who says that he left her to go back to be with his friends on the boat. They told authorities that Nolan left them to go be with the girl. Well, since Nolan was last seen by them, who do you believe? He had another friend who had possession of his keys. The mother says that they went to the house, the dad went to the house looking for the keys. Dude said he didn't have them. And some things happened along the way that it made them believe otherwise. So they went back and they retrieved the keys from the guy who said, this so-called friend who called Nolan a brother, by the way. Say he's like a brother to me. Really? Yeah. So anyway, fam, the family conducted a press conference with Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. And here's what the mother had to say first.
Feel the tension. He could feel that something wasn't right. So he was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. But we are grateful, especially to our friend Tashima, who actually was one of the people who helped us that night. She went and picked up his cell phone from where it was, and then provided that to us, because we of course contacted authorities to figure out who to do the report with, whether it was the county or the city, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. And but so our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said, Tashima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat, because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well, it's showing that, I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Life 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location.
The pictures, when he came out of the room, half asleep or whatever.
Now, imagine that, fam. Imagine that. Let me go back a little bit here. But imagine you finding out that your child is missing, and he could be out there in that water, right? Last time anybody heard from him, he was boating with his friends, his so-called friends. So imagine you track the phone, and you can and his location says that he's on land. Now, you're very hopeful at this moment, right? You think, okay, well, maybe maybe he's just hanging out with some other friends, another group of friends, or he's hanging out with a girl or whatever, and that's all it is to it. But then you get over there, and then, well, you'll see.
But my Life 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues obtaining the key, but even so, there was just a lot of...
Tell them about what happened with the key.
So I'm going to let my husband tell you about that, because he actually went up to the door to get the key, because at that point, I was just not in my right mind.
Now, keep in mind, fam, they got conflicting stories. The so-called friends got conflicting stories. First, they said they don't remember what happened. Then they said Nolan hopped on a boat with somebody else, some friends, some people that they don't even know. They ain't got no names or nothing. But then come to find out that Nolan, they say Nolan left his phone with them, right? But then come to find out that there was messages on the phone that was deleted. And Nolan is always on Snapchat, according to his mother, filming things, he's recording things, but there's several messages deleted. And then we get to this part where the dad is now in search of the keys. Now, keep in mind, the friends got the phone and won't give the mama the phone. They was trying to hold on to the phone. Now, remember, he's missing. Instead of them going and say, hey, Miss Wonsley, here's Nolan's phone. They keep the phone. They don't give her the phone back. She got to track the phone to get the phone back.
This has just been an awful situation, just terrible.
Elmore Wonsley, the father.
Okay, so the situation with the key. When we got to the house, a few of his friends, they were already there. And they were at the door in the house, asking questions. So when I walked up, they were getting, things were getting kind of tense. So I turned to them and told them, I need you guys to calm down. I don't do this to me right now. I need them to kind of trust me so they can give me something. So I was able to calm them down. So the guy, he's in one of the pictures. He came out of the room, half asleep or whatever, where I think Jack's or whatever. And I said, look, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, he's like,
His car was in the yard.
His car's parked in the yard. So he was like, I don't know, man. Nolan's like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, would you please go in your room and see if you can find my son's keys so I can take his car home? He walks off, 2 or 3 minutes, come back. I can't find the keys. I said, okay. So at that point, I get the boys and I move them out the house because I didn't want them to go into the house and start tearing up these people's houses because there'd never be a hold in the situation. So we walk outside by the car. One of the guys that was in the house with us, he was on the phone with a girl, and the girl told him that Nolan's keys were on top of this Jack's guy's Xbox in the house because apparently she was there with him earlier. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and 5 minutes later, the keys come out. So now I feel like you done lied to me. So now I'm really like in distress with you. But as far as that night goes, if I knew anyone who had a boat, I would have went out that night looking for my son. We tried, but I don't have friends with boats. But if I knew someone with one, I would have went out that night. And it so happened that his coach saw all the stuff on Facebook that next morning and called and contacted me at like 5 in the morning, asked me, did we want to go out? And I told him yes. So within an hour, he was at the dock. We met him, and we went out. We docked the boat, got out the boat, walked on the island, walked a pretty nice stretch, came back, got back on the boat, went around the island, looked, came back around, and where we went to, that's where apparently they say that his body floated up. I don't know a lot about water currents over there, but I would think that we would have saw his body. And on the trip there was a family that stayed a night on the island, like actually tented out on the island. So if he was left, he would have saw that family on the island, and it was 2 other boats docked, so he would have had help. So I don't know. I don't know. I think we stayed there for like an hour and a half. That's when Jackson County and the Sheriff Department showed up, and they were going to do their rounds. And I had a classmate of mine, him and his 2 boys, they came out and they searched, and then they got back in touch with me and said the Coast Guard had finally showed up in airplanes. So
What is so critical, what Elmore is saying, is they went out on Sunday, and the tide, if it brought his body up, he went missing on July 4th, as they say. His body should have been there on July 5th. Why would it not appear to July 6th? And that's one of those things that's just not adding up. And the fact that if he stayed behind on the island, there were boats there. There were people. Somebody had to see something. That's why it's not adding up. And that's what they're saying. It's just not adding up.
yes.
And if he was there 2 days, somebody on the island would be able to verify that.
But see, when law enforcement is involved, when law enforcement has made their minds up that they are going to help cover this thing up, they're going to sweep it under the rug, they don't give a damn, it's easy for stuff to not add up and for stuff to never add up. Because guess what? Everything is filtered through them. Witnesses are filtered through them. Evidence is filtered through law enforcement. So they could suppress or destroy. You dig what I'm saying, fam? It ain't gonna never add up when they don't want it to add up. Oh yeah, they can make it add up if they wanted to, but they don't want to. They want this case to just go away, like all of the millions of other cases where black folks were killed and the suspects were white. Yeah, and by the way, these are the boys that was in that picture with Nolan. Eli Jax Patalo, Eric Alcantara, Wyatt Pyron, Warren Hudson, and Morgan Seymour. Now, Eli Jax Patalo, that's the one the father is talking about who had the keys. Now, that goes to show you how diabolical this dude is, if indeed he has something to do with this. Imagine this dude being asleep after something as tragic as that happened. Even if he didn't for sure know that his friend was dead, his so-called friend was dead, for him to be able to just go to sleep after something like that, after knowing that you got a friend out there that's missing, and you just go to sleep, I'm telling you, fam, if he's really involved, that goes to show you how demonic these people really are, how demonic that person really is.
2 days and nobody's come forward and said, no, he was with us, or no, we saw him. It just does not make sense. Make it make sense. Just one last thing. We want her to talk about the cell phone deleted messages. I'm sorry. I thought my voice was loud enough. One last thing. We want to have Christine talk about the cell phone from her perspective before they tell you who Nolan was, and then we'll take your questions.
So when we made it home, my sister and I actually went through Nolan's cell phone, particularly Snapchat, because that is so popular with the children. And when we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day. And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration. So we found that very concerning, only because anyone who's ever been around Nolan will tell you at social gatherings, he's taking videos, he's taking pictures, he's even come up to me when I'm getting ready to go to bed, hey Ma, come on, take a picture of me. You know, like he's just, that was Nolan. So that's why we feel that things may have been deleted, was because of the fact that there was nothing in either one of his accounts. But I do want to say this. I would hope that any parent who, God forbid, would be in our situation, I would hope that you would do the same thing. I would hope that you would ask for any help, receive any help to get answers, because at the end of the day, that's all we want. We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home. Like that's our biggest thing. And we are so grateful to everyone, family, friends, classmates, United Cajun Navy, everybody that's assisted us. We appreciate you. There's not enough thank yous that we could say or give to you, but I just, we just want to know. We want an honest, thorough investigation. That's all we're asking for. That's it.
Do you want
Those messages were deleted, fam.
to say about who Nolan was, and then
And we can stop right there, family, because they finna get into who Nolan was. And, Nolan has been described as just a good kid, a funny kid, really likable, no problems, didn't give his parents no problems, just a really, really good kid. Very consistent and on par with the type of kids that end up dead in these type of situations. So I'm gonna tell you something, family. People that have a big heart got to be careful. See, sometimes, having a big heart can put you in some really bad situations, because you see the best in people, and oftentimes you overlook people's flaws. Flaws should not be overlooked. They should be examined and vetted very carefully, because to overlook them can get you in a really, really bad position. People with big hearts oftentimes end up in really bad situations with really, really bad people. People who are heartless, people who are demonic, evil, wicked. Yeah, man, you got to be careful with that. I'm not saying don't have a big heart, but I'm saying you got to guard your heart, because there are demons out there. There are real life walking devils out there, and they will kill you. They will take your kindness for weakness and destroy you. No more talk.